Welcome back to one more session on leadership. Last time I did cover about J.R.D. Tata, the pioneering leadership for corporate world and to the nation, the kind of difference he made. And he was an embodiment of leadership with great sense of the future for India. So he built a nation apart from building companies, and he brought India to the dais of corporate world and also at a global level. Today I'm going to talk about a leader probably you all must be able to relate to. I've chosen Narayan Murthy, one of the prominent leaders who made huge difference for the corporate world globally. So his impact is not only for India, but taking the name of India in the corporate world, knowing for the governance and the way a business is to be built. So as a management aspirant, as a management students, and as also alumni of the management education and working in the corporate world, you all must look at the leadership qualities of a leader like Narayan Murthy. I've been teaching leadership and change management, and in my journey of 35 years approximately, I've met hundreds of leaders ranging from Narayan Murthy and Jack Welch, Kiran Majumdar Shah, and others who are Kumaramangalam Birla. They're all good to talk about the management aspects, how they manage the companies. So today, when I talk about Narayan Murthy, just a simple background about him. He was born in a small town called Mysore, somewhere in 1946 or so, and he did his engineering from National Institute of Technology, Mysore. Then he went to Kanpur for his post graduation. Then today, when you talk about Infosys, is almost 13 billion US dollars, so Indian rupee value of approximately 94,000 crores, and almost 73 US billion dollars capitalization, market capitalization. So Narayan Murthy was born in a very, very poor family, but highly educated family. His father was just a high school teacher, and to give some more information, little bit information about his family, his wife is very known writer and again a great scholar, Sudha Murthy, and he traveled through his the corporate journey along with her, and she made huge impact in terms of changing a lot of things personally to Narayan Murthy, and he's got a son and a daughter, Akshata and Rohit, doing very well. If you look at the history of Narayan Murthy before he started Infosys, that was a dream project for him. He was the chief programming officer of IIM Ahmedabad, and he also worked for Patni Computers, Softronics, before he started the journey towards Infosys dream. And today, when you're talking about US 13 billion US dollar company, 94,000 crores, it is a huge, huge achievement for any Indian company. And what is so special about Narayan Murthy is all about his simplicity, his approach towards employees, and his care towards employees. And Infosys was the first company to show human resources as an asset in the balance sheet, and many of you may be aware of it. So when you talk about leadership, qualities of Narayan Murthy, probably I will touch upon the positive leadership and the participative leadership. So both the P's were definitely there. He used to consult people before taking decision. He built great teams in Infosys, not only in India, across the globe. So magic of thinking big, there's a book you might have read. Definitely, many of you, especially the marketing people, would have read it. But Narayan Murthy had a different way of looking at magic of thinking big is good, but you need to start small. So he believed in that philosophy that start small, then grow it to, leveraging technology was another thing, and build a fortune lawfully. And he used to reiterate the word lawfully and lawfully. Because if you don't have the corporate governance and ethics, then you'll have an episode like Satyam, and nobody wants to get associated with those companies for the simple reason that it is to be lawfully, ethically built company. That is what Infosys is known even today. And another thing I talked about his leadership style was very, very sharing. So he shared many things with his team members. And then he also gave not only the skills, knowledge, beyond that, personally, he was involved in handling issues related to personal family issues of certain employees. And he solved many of them. And he was a leader with a great humility. So he believed in humility and grace. Once moments of power, enhancement also happens to a dignity which comes only through humility and grace. So moments of power actually enhances the dignity. So once the dignity of leadership goes up, then you will see the pinnacle of success in every move that leader makes. That's what Narayan Murthy was known for. He had a very simple formula for his employees there in Infosys. Performance is number one, and recognition of performance. Of course, the rewards are also there. And then you gain the respect. So, in the same order, so you have performance, you have recognition, you have reward, then you have respect, and which enhances not only your organization's level of performance, but also the dignity of your organization in the marketplace. So that's a great thing to look at when you look at Infosys story of leadership. One thing I want to reiterate is money is not everything. It's a philosophical saying. But Narayan Murthy believed that you need to make ethical money in the organization by having those processes which are ethical, and corporate governance is the topmost priority. At the same time, the real power of money, as per him, is when you give it away to the needy. So that's a philosophy I think JRD also had. There's a similarity between what JRD dreamt of and what Narayan Murthy also dreamt of, and he did that. Both of them, of course, did. The philosophy of Infosys is also interesting to look at it. So when you talk about the business, so when you want to grow the business, people always talk about revenue. So revenue also to be recognized ethically. That is what he believed in, and he never indulged in practices which are unethical, and the governance was at the core of his heart. So growing in a small percentage of the pie is better than actually large part of the shrinking pie. So he talked about growing pie. You can have a small percentage, but if you have larger percentage of pie in a shrinking market or a shrinking product or services, there is no meaning there. So you will not see the real growth. So it's a short-term thing. That is what he is also known for. And finally, I want to summarize saying that Narayan Murthy was altogether a different personality when it comes to leadership of recent times. Corporate governance, the ethical practices, employee welfare, the courage, conviction, and the courage to travel through untraveled roads. So it's not only the courage of just for the sake of courage. The leadership is not only positive and with great humility and dignity, it is also about the conviction of the courage you have. So he was a great risk taker, and he handled adversity very effectively. So leveraging technology is one thing, and building a fortune, lawfully is another thing. So he had a great romance for ethical leadership, and he's a very, very well respected business leader in India, also globally. He's received many awards. I don't want to name those things, it's all available in Google. But on the leadership front, whatever I have spoken so far is the gist of what Narayan Murthy is known for. I think it's worth looking at his biography, probably as a management education seeker, higher management education seeker. You'll learn a lot of things from the biography of Narayan Murthy. Thank you so much for listening to this, the second session of Leadership Series. Take care.